We'll move on to the Bears. Um, I this team is interesting to me because I always question myself, like, how did they even make it to the playoffs last year?
It
How?
just the
Like, we had the
NFC
teams like
was
the
top heavy.
Dolphins and there was another team that was like 10-6 or whatever, and they didn't get in, but the Bears get in.
Yeah,
Um,
NFC was extremely top heavy. There was like three good teams, and that was it.
yeah, really weird. So I guess the main question on everybody's mind with the Bears is, when does Fields come in? How long does Dalton get to play before they're like, all right, you're done? Or does Fields come in, week one? Or does
Yeah,
Dalton, like, what are they going to do? Is he going to mentor Fields?
they're acting like that Andy Dalton's gonna be the Week 1 starter. That's kind of everything that you're hearing right now, which isn't a surprise. Like I'm always, unless you're like the number one pick and you're like Joe Burrow or Trevor Lawrence, and it's like there's no good quarterback on your team, and you're so obviously
Yeah.
the best play. But like I've always advocated for not throwing your rookie into the wolves like that Week 1. Like you can do it
Mhm.
halfway through the season, but give him a chance to understand the speed of the NFL.
Right.
Um, Kind of watching from the sideline, kind of like Tua and Justin Herbert, right? They
Even
didn't start
Lamar.
right away. Lamar, exactly. Mahomes didn't start right away either. Um, and Kansas City, they knew Mahomes was better than what they had in there, but they just wanted him to learn the game first. So I don't mind if Justin Fields doesn't play at all. I know Bears fans probably want him to get out there because they know that he's better than Andy Dalton, but sometimes it's better for the quarterback in general to
It's
just not
almost
be thrown
always
right
a
in there.
positive thing to have them hauled off. Like, I've
Yeah,
I've never seen a negative impact on having them wait a couple weeks just to
exactly.
learn from the quarterback who's been doing it for a while.
Aaron Rodgers is another one too. He had to wait behind Brett Favre.
Yep.
Now Andy Dalton, you might think, well, he's Andy Dalton. He's not that good. It doesn't matter. He's a veteran quarterback that's been to the playoffs multiple times. He knows how to play the game. He knows how to slow it down. Kind of like Fitz. Fitz has never been a great quarterback either, but he knew how to teach Tua how to play, especially a quarterback like Fields, where his number one knock and the reason why he didn't go in the top three is because people think that he might be a little bit too slow making his reads, his
Hmm.
progressions. When you have a guy that might be too slow making his progressions, you might want to have him sit on the bench and kind of study, how they give you the tablets and you can watch the plays from up above on your tablet and see what's going on. Like having that for 4, 5, 6 weeks. And if the Bears are, 3-4 or something like that, and they think, okay, we're not quite good enough with Andy Dalton, but maybe we can make a push with Justin Fields, then you put him in. But I don't think he's going to start right away. I wouldn't agree with that decision at all. I actually
Yeah.
think that he might really struggle if he starts right away, especially with the like. I'm sorry, Matt Nagy thinks that he's some kind of offensive guru, but he's just not. I mean, that offense has been just like the first year he was there, it was like, wow, look at the Bears. After that, it was like, dude, come. Literally, we literally watched you call a play versus the Saints where your receiver, yeah, he should have caught it, but it was still, it didn't fool anybody really. And then Sean Payton literally copied your play and ran it against the Bucks and scored a touchdown easily.
Hmm.
Like, like it's just, you can always tell the difference between a great coach and an average one just by running the exact same play. And we had Jameis Winston throw that pass, bro. Like, come on. To Traquan Smith. Who? Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
But you chose to pat. Who was play? I feel like Anthony Miller was playing in that game, if I'm not
Could have been
mistaken.
Mooney.
One of them, like one of Mooney or Miller, was hurt, but I can't remember which one it was. But either way, one of those guys should have been the person you threw it to, but instead they threw it to Javon Wims.
Oh God, and
Like
dropped.
that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, what are you doing? So yeah, he's on the hot seat, bro. 100%, absolutely has to be on the hot seat, unexcusable. Because they went like 12-4 his first season. They had the double doink against the Eagles. Otherwise, they would have moved
Hmm.
on to play the
Yep.
Saints in the next game. Um, and all of a sudden, they're just kind of ass cheeks, and you basically ruined Mitch Trubisky's career. He's not even terrible. He shouldn't have been drafted as high as he was, but he's not awful.
Yeah.
In fact, he came back in for you last season and led you to the playoffs when Nick Foles was dragging you down to the number one pick.
Yep.
So just questionable, man. Questionable decisions.
And speaking of questionable decisions, now we're getting rid of like key players like Kyle Fuller.
Oh
Like
my
you're
god, yeah.
losing key defensive pieces. Like, I don't know what this team is doing. Like, if anything, if you were in the playoffs last season, isn't the idea to get better? But here you are getting rid of like your best players on the team.
And they did it like they won't admit to this, but kind of in NFL circles, it's understood that they got rid of Kyle Fuller to clear cap space to trade for like Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson, and then they didn't do either of those two things, and they signed Andy Dalton and drafted Justin Fields, which means you could have kept Kyle Fuller, and it's like, bro, come on. Yeah. And you're about to like another thing that we need to talk about is the last 2 seasons really, but especially last season, y'all really pissing off Allen Robinson. And so, can they do anything to repair Allen Robinson? Because they franchise tagged him, and you know he's mad about that. I know he's getting the bag from it.
Yeah, I know.
But you know. He wanted
out.
He absolutely wanted out. He would love to be in Kenny Galladay's position, making that $90 million for the Giants, bro. I promise you he would. And he's stuck in Chicago.
The only way that I can see him staying is if he likes Fields.
Yes,
and if Fields can make him want to stay.
That's the only chance.
That's it. Like, fresh face, fresh leader to the team. We're gonna be, you're gonna be my number one guy. Like, maybe there's some chemistry that can be built there. But other than that, he's
it's going to take a lot, though, because it seems like the management and the coaching staff has just.
Yeah, I mean, now we're talking about 2 years in the making. Like, he's already made his mind up that he wants to leave.
He's probably already got a list of teams that are going to have cap space next season, bro. He's got a whole list. Where am I going to sign? He already knows where he's going to sign. Next offseason, he's ready to go.
Now, with that said, let's just wrap it all up real quick. Do they make another playoff appearance? Or was last season a fluke? Like, they shouldn't have had no business being in the playoffs.
No. No way.
No way, right?
No chance. Yeah. I don't see that happening. No.
Yeah. I mean, there's just nothing else to say. I mean, the Bears are just... I mean, honestly, I think they had no business being in the playoffs last season to begin with. Like, I was surprised. Like, they snuck in over the Cardinals. And I think there's another team that I was like, "Why, really?"
Yeah, the Cardinals fumbled the bag towards the end of the year. But like, I'm looking at these like now that we're halfway through the NFC North, I'm like, bro, like what is going on here? Like this is just a division full of dysfunction and chaos.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the Packers had no competition, and they probably won't if they keep Aaron Rodgers. They probably won't.
Yeah, probably
next
not.
year.
I'd be surprised.
Like, it's almost like this might easily turn into, like, an AFC East situation when Tom Brady was in the Patriots. Like Packers have dominated this division for a while now.
Yeah, you don't even have to be that good of a team. You just kind of just coast to the playoffs.
I mean, the Vikings sometimes give them a run. But they haven't really done anything for a couple of years now. I think they've averaged maybe like 9-7 records. And they might make it in as a wild card team. But that was, I mean, I haven't seen them do anything since Diggs left, to be honest with you.
They can't do anything unless they play the Saints in the playoffs, bro. That's it.
Well, not now. Not with Diggs. Can't do a sideline touchdown or whatever.
Yeah, but they had the Kyle Rudolph touchdown the second time. Oh, he's gone too. We'll talk about that later.